you guys, let's have a relaxing evening tonight, and we'll clip some coupons, and we'll have some ramble chat time together, and hopefully we'll make this one of those lay your head back, close your eyes, relax videos for tonight. Reminder, turn down your contrast, your brightness on your device, so it won't be so bright in your room. And maybe, if it's not so bright in your room, you can fall asleep quicker and easier, and perhaps you can be the winner in our ongoing challenge. First one who falls asleep wins. So, for some reason is real special to me. I know everybody looks forward to the 50th, but 40 and the number 4 and 40, it just always resonated with my spirit, I guess. It's interesting how 40 years have gone by. How so many things have changed, but so many things have stayed the same. For instance, Clipping Carl's Jr. coupons. Do you know my husband, his whole life, has been such a coupon king? He'd have the best coupons, and I thought my dad was the coupon king until I married my husband. And even my dad said, hey, where are we gonna go to lunch today? What coupons? Who has the best coupons? And he and my husband would compare coupons, and my husband always had the better ones. Carl's Jr. is having a promotion, I guess, and I think in other states, the same restaurant is called Hardee's, I do believe. It was buy one, get one for $1 of the, I guess they have a juicy deal, buy one, get one for $1 for rewards. But I guess you do it through the in-app offer. Chicken sandwich. So we got 2 for $8. Angus burger, breakfast burger, jalapeno poppers. There's a bacon cheeseburger. I'm gonna make 2 piles, sandwiches and other. But needless to say, we don't eat as reckless as we did back when we first got married, where he and I could eat everything and anything, and that has long time changed. But he still loves the coupons. And when it's DoorDash night, we'll look at his coupons. And we start there. Marriage is not for everybody. I'm realizing. You know, I was born in 1959. I was still, when your mindset is you're just gonna grow up, have a family, be married. I must admit, so many things that happened with me, my life. I may have mentioned this before. I always wonder if the keeper of the stars just revealed to me my life, or did I know it so perfectly and picture it so perfectly that once you have your mind made up in life for something, you do it. Because I have found that true in my life, that your mental attitude is so much a part of your accomplishment. But anyways, I knew at a very young age in grammar school I was going to live in a house like my parents. My husband was going to have dark hair. He's going to be good looking, dark hair, dark eyes. And I believe I even saw him walking towards me in off-white jeans and an off-white shirt, like a Western shirt with some applique work on the front. So anyways, that was in grammar school. So when we got married in 82, he happened to be our next door neighbor. I was the girl next door. And in 76, our parents moved to a new house. And my husband-to-be, he and his wife and his two very small kids had moved in next to us. Little did I know he and I were going to be married. And so that was in summer of 76. He was a everyday, all-American, typical good neighbor. And so I moved away in 79. I was 19 years old, moved away. So I guess I met my husband in summer 76. I was 17. 2 years later, I move away to Santa Barbara. I live on my own. I work at the post office. I start my own adult life, living on my own in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, nice apartment, like 2 or 3 blocks from Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital. And loving my life. And I do remember the only goal I had at that time in my life was I wanted to be on my own. I have a job to support myself and just have my life in order. I remember I needed that for me. And I wanted it forever for whoever my husband was going to be. I didn't want to fall into a trap of needing to marry somebody for finances or security or anything. And I didn't want whoever married me to think that I was marrying them for finances or security or anything. So at a very young age, I found myself in Santa Barbara thinking, okay, I'm done now setting the stage for my life. I'm ready for whatever happens next. So December of 81, remember I met my husband summer of 76. I was 17 years old. But in the meantime, he and his wife had got divorced, and we knew that immediately. Like the first week upon meeting his wife, all she talked about was she's not going to be there that long. She's going to get divorced. She's going to get divorced. We didn't understand it, but anyways. Christmas of 81 comes along. And his ex-wife was still living in the house next door, and she sees I'm in town for the holidays. She says, "Hey, Angela, why don't you and your little sister come over? We'll have Christmas together." Because my little sister at the time was the same age as his little kids, like 4 or 5, 3 or 4 or 4 or 5. And she said, yeah, we'll have fun like the good old days when we'll all live right next to each other. My ex-husband will be here and we'll have a good time. And so I wasn't thinking anything. I was thinking, yeah, that'd be fun. So I went down there, my little sister, and my sweetheart to be sees me after 79, 80, 2 years, 2 or 3, 79, 81. No, almost 3 years. All of a sudden, I had blossomed. From when he last saw me at 79. I had no clue that he was looking at me with different eyes now. We're having a wonderful evening, but so kids were playing. His ex-wife, they were doing stuff. She was doing stuff with the kids, and then he invites me down to the hot tub. All the kids and his ex-wife are playing. So we go down to the hot tub, and I get a good education of always remember to use plastic by the pool, never use glass. And he brought out some plastic Rubbermaid tumblers, and we had wine in the hot tub, and we kissed, and he asked me on a date to our first date, which was a military, Valentine's Day military ball coming up in February. And I was like, really? Like, that was all me getting fancy and formal and dressed up and excited. Of all things, a military ball. I said, are you really for sure gonna take me? Because this is exciting and I really want to go. And I'm gonna feel bad if you really aren't serious. And he went on to say, yes, he was serious. And he's sending me a copy of the invite in the upcoming week. So, beer them beans. All came to pass, and we ended up leaving the hot tub because his ex-wife had to go home, and so my little sister and I stayed, and we helped him clean up a little bit. And wait a minute, I have it backwards. I apologize, I have it backwards. She wasn't living there. He was still living there. She was living with her brother in the same town. That's right. But she was over so much because the kids were always in the pool. Even though they were divorced, they were still friendly. So I'm all excited. I'm helping him clean up. I'm still not thinking he's thinking anything's, beyond just a fun evening with me. But apparently, looking back, I think his ex-wife, saw how he was looking at me. And was kind of noticing reality when I really wasn't. So we go to the military ball. And it was just like the Cinderella story. He was my prince. I was the belle of the ball. And he called me that, the belle of the ball. And he never went to a military ball with anybody. He had gone one time with his ex-wife, and she did not enjoy formal events, and she did not enjoy people in uniform. It was a whole awful event. He never took another person. So when he showed up at the military ball with me, the whole place was looking at us because everybody knew him. He was a officer in the National Guard Reserves. And I really did feel all the eyes on us, but I didn't know anything. I thought maybe they're just looking because I'm young. I didn't know. Then he takes me to the line, introduces me to all the generals and the colonels in the line. So we end up at our evening, dinner table, and where all his close friends are seated with him, and that's when conversation kind of begins. Where did you meet this lovely young lady? And then they'd come and talk to me, and they say, Angela, how did you meet this handsome officer? Just, I guess, to see if the stories were true, that I really was the girl next door. And I kind of chuckled and had a laugh about that, because I did, on occasion, babysit his kids. But, there was nothing weird going on. And, if I have to look back at the only time I ever kissed my husband while he was still married, it was one Christmas. Probably the Christmas of 78, because I was still living at home, or I had just moved to Santa Barbara. So 78 or 79. And we had at the time lived right next door. And we were all down in the basement having Christmas, and he comes over dressed up as Santa, and all the kids are excited, and he's sitting down, and their kids are going up to him telling what they want for Christmas, and I'm just kind of casually standing there, and he looks at me, something to the effect of, next, or how did I end up sitting on his lap? And I said, Merry Christmas, and I gave him like a little peck cheek on his cheek, and I gave him a pet kiss on his cheek up by his ear. I said, Merry Christmas. And that was it. I don't remember, anything about that. It was just like, all right, Mary, and I hadn't been drinking. I wasn't drunk. So my husband reminded me of that moment years later. So anyways, go to the ball, have a wonderful time. It was Valentine Day weekend of 1982. The following March, for his birthday, I invited him up Santa Barbara. We spent the whole day together. Early in the morning, late at night. And, I was living in Santa Barbara, and that night he had to drive back to Simi Valley. He was living in Simi Valley at the time. And I find out later, on that day was the day he fell in love with me, on our second date. And then by March 24th, we were engaged. And July of 82, we were married. And it's been bliss ever since. Marriage is not easy. Like I said, I do understand why marriage is not for everybody, and why it is not easy. And he was he felt bad. My parents did not approve, and they disowned me totally. They liked him up until we were engaged, but they didn't want their daughter marrying a man 22 years older than their daughter. Actually, my husband's the same age as my parents, so I understand. They're upset to a degree, but they completely disown me. And I said, we need to just go to Las Vegas and be married. It's creating a whole family scandal with all my relatives, and my mom's side of the family, the dad's side of the family. It was like a huge fight. And bless his heart, he said, Angela, this is your special day. For the whole rest of your life, you're going to look back on your wedding day. So I want you to have the wedding you want, was not influenced by your parents. Was that just the best thing? And every year I think of that, and I'm so grateful he had the maturity and foresight to see and know and tell me that. Because each year we do have a wedding. That was our wedding we can look upon. It wasn't a compromise event because of my parents' upset. It was July of 82. And then we moved from that house to our house. Now I call it our forever home. In November of 82. And we've lived happily ever after since. So I always look back upon, like I said, how as a primary school kid, I saw the house I was living in, and I saw my husband. And, well, the house, I just said, I'm going to live in a house like my parents. I'm bigger than beans. I did live in a house like my parents because when my husband and I got married, it was right next to the house that my parents lived in. And they still owned it, however, they were renting it out. And they had lived a couple miles up the road to a newer housing area. And my husband was dark hair, dark eyed, good looking. And he does have an outfit with white blue jeans, or like off-white blue jeans. And that white, kind of like a cowboy shirt with green applique on front. He does have that. Now, so many times I think about that, and I think that is just a kind way that Keeper of the Stars just gave me a little reminder that he's watching out for me. He's got a plan. Because I didn't have to work to make any of that happen, even though I saw it and knew it for my life. Like we do anything in our life, I really had to work to attain all the other things that I saw and wanted for my life. And this I saw and knew it was going to be that way. I did not have to shed any blood, sweat, or tears for my husband. It just happened. So I still think love and marriage and joy and happiness comes our way when we are the best we can be and be good in our own life, to have a good somebody to offer somebody else. I think if too many of us get together and too many of us have too many problems and issues, it's hard to be your best if your life is hard. That's why I would always, like, if anyone would ask me what's your advice for love and marriage, it would be to always be your best self first and be happy with your best self first, and that person you are when you're your happiest will just draw love and